Hello and welcome to my capstone presentation for the Valor MBA course of study. I'm going to be presenting to you the Anaporia Aerospace business plan. My name is Doug Rybczynski. I'm in the class of May of 2024. Here's my identification. Let's get into it. So what's the problem? The town of Tehachapi, California does not have a general aviation maintenance facility or flight school. This is a community that's deeply rooted in aerospace, being the engineers, mechanics, and pilots that flew the largest wingspan in the world not too long ago, created the first civilian astronauts, and broke us through the speed of sound for the first time ever. But those people who love aviation don't have a place to service their aircraft or even become pilots if they aren't one just yet. So, what's the solution? We need to create a fixed base operation that serves the maintenance needs of Tehachapi to start and grow into the flight training needs of the same community after a consistent business and revenue stream is already established on the maintenance side of the house. What is so unique about us? Well, geographically, we are very advantageously placed in Tehachapi, California, which means that we can then focus on a business that grows a community. And that's really the benefit that we're trying to aim for. Not only are we convenient to the Tehachapi, Mojave, Rosamond, and California city areas, we want to grow an airport community in Tehachapi that is just as phenomenal as the work of the people who go off and then break new records and capture our imagination through their work in the Antelope Valley. So, Anaporia Aerospace, our mission is to grow and support each individual's path to excellence in aviation. Growing each individual grows a healthy community, makes that community more strong, grows it in turn, which then allows us, with our vision, to create and sustain a welcoming and helpful environment which is built on a foundation of technical prowess that provides a center point for aviation culture to thrive. That aviation culture is requires aviation maintenance and flight training to occur constantly, meaning that this is the foundation that a healthy Tehachapi aerospace community can be built on top of. All of this is built around a core value that knowledge is power. Breeding that knowledge as will provide excellence if properly utilized, and that will be passed to every form of aviator. So, myself, as the founder and CEO, I've been involved with airplanes. Started flying when I was 13 years old. I've been an active flight instructor and a active mechanic with inspection authorization for many years. I'm one of three people in the world who have graduated test pilot school twice, and I'm an aerospace engineer to back all that up. The contractors that I'll be utilizing at Anaporia Aerospace are similarly motivated and dedicated. They're already in the Tehachapi community, which means that they are known quantities to our customer base. So where does that leave some of our skill gaps? Well, that means that we need a little bit of help with the marketing. And this is not really a part of my current business experience, meaning that it's going to be a bit of a focal point from the day to day ops, right? Being a mechanic, being a flight instructor, that's stuff that I know how to do, but marketing myself and my company is going to be something that I grow towards. And bringing in outside help is absolutely on the table. Daily accounting practices are another one. So, running a daily operating business is something that is going to have to be grown into. Been a contractor for many years, and much like the contractors that are going to work for Anaporia Aerospace, but growing into a daily operating organization is going to be something that requires a bit of attention. How's all this going to be done by the numbers? So, beginning in year one, we'll have contracted maintainers paid out at $60 an hour. By year three, I anticipate that we'll have a revenue stream sufficient to hire the more experienced mechanic at $100,000 a year. And then by year five, there will be enough to hire a less experienced mechanic at $75,000 a year. By year three or four, we should be thinking about buying a $75,000 aircraft that we can then put back out onto the line at $150 an hour wet, which means all of the added sort of costs like fuel and oil are already thrown onto the price of the aircraft. What benefit does that bring the customer? That means that they don't have to worry about fluctuations in fuel price. There is just a consistent price at all times. And then that means that they only have to pay the flight instructor what they are asking per hour, their hourly rate, meaning the instructor makes more per hour, and then we don't get in the mix of those two, allowing that relationship to grow and thrive. Again, letting that community build itself around Anaporia Aerospace. Our projected revenue stream is based on assuming that we have 25% of half of the aircraft registered to Tehachapi and Mojave as a market share by year five. That gets us just short of $500,000 of revenue, covering the cost of our yearly insurance for the aircraft and the hangar mortgage, and then keeping all of the salaries paid out as appropriate. It gives us about a 15% net margin after tax. So, how did these decisions come to be? Well, the risk analysis for myself, I will assume the initial financial risk with the seed money and that initial hangar purchase, which benefits us in the long run because of the payout and the stability that it provides us as a company while we grow. The risk of the employees is reduced by bringing them on as contractors initially and then only hiring full time with insurance when the revenue stream is sufficiently large. From there, then the aircraft and the flight training department will be brought on initially with a leased aircraft, once again, going on a contract like basis, and then only growing into that new business unit being wholly owned after the revenue stream shows that it can be sustained. How are we going to market all this and how are we going to show the world how great Anaporia Aerospace is? Well, we'll start with community events. The best way to get somebody to fly their airplane is by promising food on the other end of their destination. We'll follow that up with social media posts, magazine and classified posts, such as in Controller and in Trade a Plane. Making sure that we have a good, strong, healthy internet search result and a good, healthy website to follow up on. And finally, look at passive promotion. The general aviation community is very small and they always talk to one another. So if you can show that you are worth being spoken about in a good way with positive light, then they will absolutely spread like wildfire. It's something that we're banking on in Anaporia. So, who are our competitors? Well, there are three competitors with a nearly identical business structure, but all of them are upwards of an hour away. So, MH Barnes and Best Aviation each provide a flight training environment with a maintenance shop. And then there's one maintenance only shop in heavily aircraft. We are priced as competitively as each of them. However, we have the convenience factor of being in Tehachapi, California. There is one flight training competitor who is currently running around with just their own aircraft called Unhinged Aerobatics. They, however, can become a symbiotic relationship, working sort of as a subcontractor to Anaporia Aerospace, growing us into the tailwheel and aerobatic market while trying to offset some of his costs in owning the aircraft. So, what are some of our other advantages? Where we are, as mentioned, we are in a beautiful place, Tehachapi, California, that is 45 minutes to an hour away from any of our competitors. It is one of the best housing communities in the local area for aerospace nuts that work in Mojave and Edwards to do what they do best and now get to support their passion of general aviation and being an aviator. We already have connections to the community, myself being in the community for 6 years and all the contractors being 5 to 6 years as well, meaning the word of mouth marketing that can come from just using our name and saying that it's going underneath of a single roof will be hugely beneficial. Also, it takes away some of that scare factor for the first time that you go to a new shop, not really knowing the quality of the work. We're known quantities, so the community should be able to come to us and know what they're going to get. Finally, my exit plan. This is my retirement plan. I want to grow and build a foundation for a community that I know and love. I want to build stability that can be perpetuated out into the far future. I want to see Tehachapi grow, and so really, when it's time for me to give it all the way back up, it's outright sale of a community or outright sale of a company, excuse me, to an individual who embodies the culture and the values of Anaporia Aerospace, or each asset allowing the community then take on this role and grow from there. Thank you for your time. Any questions or comments can be sent to my email address below.